Hey, what is up everyone? Coach Danny here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys 3 head movement drills you can practice solo at home without any training partner or training equipment whatsoever. Okay, so head movement is super important to practice into your workout sessions simply because this is what enables you to have good defensive tactics, okay? So for example, slipping left to right, bobbing and weaving under punches. So today I'm gonna show you 3 simple drills you can practice at home. There's so many drills you can do, but I'm gonna give you some ideas. So the first one is to learn how to roll underneath punches, okay? So it's always referred as to the bobbing and weaving. So basically the bob is really moving from one side to the other, okay? Almost like a bobblehead, right? So you want to kind of like move side to side, but also you're kind of dipping your legs, which makes your head dip because obviously you can't just shorten your neck. So you have to use your legs to do so. So you want to do that bobbing motion, but the weaving will be that rolling underneath that punch. So for example, if I'm rolling under this side to my left side, I'm going to be bobbing to this side first, and then watch how I'm going to roll to the opposite side. Okay, so you want to do the letter U, okay, with your head. So I always like to teach people to always look in front. So as I bob, I'm looking at what's happening in front of me at all times, because if you start to look down towards the ground, that's a bad habit because now I'm rolling in this direction, but I don't really see the next punch that is coming. So I want to be aware of all things, plus I'm going to be using my legs to do so. So as I start to roll here, notice how my weight is going to shift from one side to the other, and that is a simple bob and weave. Now, in order to practice this more efficiently, what we're going to do is do it on a straight line. So imagine that you have a line right here, okay? So better yet, maybe at home in your basement or something, just put a hand wrap or a rope and just tie it on both ends and maybe have like 8 to 10 feet in length. And what you're going to do is from this side here is you're going to bob to one side but then roll on the opposite side. So if the line is right here in the middle, you want to keep your head off center line, okay? So as I go here and I roll to the opposite side. Now I want to practice this as I'm moving forward. Notice how I'm walking up every time, moving my head underneath the punch and coming back up. When you do the bob and weave, you always want to remember, imagine, let's say I have a ball and we're in the swimming pool and I push that ball under the water. The moment I let go, whoop, it comes right back up. So your head is the same thing. Don't stay low like this and just wait. Come back up as quickly as possible. So let's say, for example, you watching this video is going to be throwing a right hook, all right? So that right hook. So I'm going to come in here and bobbing under the right hook. Now if you're going to throw the left hook, I'm going to roll and come on the opposite side against the left hook. So when you practice this drill, just make sure that you're doing it static first. Once you have the habit and you have, good balance, start to move forward and backward with this. So just move here, and always be aware that there's a line in the middle and you're going side to side, and from the side it'll look like this. So you're bobbing on one side and then moving here. And if I move forward with this, I always step with each bob, distributing the weight from the left to the right leg with each roll. Okay, now the second drill you can practice is pretty simple. This one, we're gonna just use our slips. So now we're not gonna roll anymore. What I'm gonna do is a lateral motion from side to side. So basically, think of your head and your shoulders as the needle, like a pendulum, and it's going side to side as such. Now some people will teach you to roll laterally. Some other people will teach you to roll diagonally, like stepping forward like this, leaning the shoulder in. And other people will just roll, or I should say slip, by turning the shoulder. They slip the punch and they shoulder roll, all right? So which one is better? It's just a matter of what tactic you're gonna use as a defensive measure against a certain particular style of punching. But today I'm gonna talk about just side to side, lateral slips, all right? So we're here, hands are up, protecting the chin, and as I turn to this side, I imagine that I'm slipping a jab. And if I'm turning to this side, now I imagine I'm slipping the cross. So these slips are going to be very valuable against straight punchers, all right? So let's say it's the jab cross. You're going to go 1 and 2, all right? And 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. Just enough. Notice I'm not using a huge range of motion. It's just enough to slip the punch, all right? So let's say someone has the fist or even a 10-ounce glove. just enough to let it graze. Sometimes you even feel the glove grazing on the side of your face, and it's just enough so it doesn't hit your chin. So you're on one side and the other. So the fist just goes right across. So from the side, the view will look like this. Slip to one side, slip to the other, and again, it's all in the leg. So if your stance isn't correct and you start to slip, you'll fall off balance. If it's too wide, you'll also have a hard time slipping more naturally. So you have to have that comfortable stance where once you're here and then you start slipping, and you can use your footwork eventually incorporating those slips. Now, you can also add to that and add 1, 2, 3, or even 4 slips. So it can look like this when you're training. Visualize you slip once, and then double, and then 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you move out. You can start incorporating this into your drills where you practice how to distribute your weight from left to right, but also feel the ground underneath your feet, because that's the most important thing, like I talked about all the time, is the stance. Now the next drill I want to show is incorporating both of those things together. So we talked about the slips and the rolling. So now imagine someone is throwing a jab cross hook, right? Just as an example. So these are the punches that'll be coming at you. So you want to see that in your eyes, in your mind, you know, so slip, slip, and roll. See? So the jab, the cross, and then the hook, and move out, right? So slip, slip, roll. Always look in the front. Look at your opponent in your mind. Bum, bum, bum. See it. And then, once you get comfortable with this drill, you can start to break the tempo. What I mean by this is this. Some people will throw the jab cross hook and they'll go pam, pam, pam. Other people will go pam, pam, pam. And sometimes it'll look like pam, pam, whap. You know, you'll break it down. So now you can start to see this in your mind, and you see, let's say 1, 2, 3, pam, pam, pam. And then maybe 1, and then whoop, 2, 3. And then maybe 1, 2, and then 3. And you start to break the tempo up, break that rhythm so you get comfortable. So then when you start to incorporate this into your practice, now you can start to see more and more. When it happens for real, you're ready for it. Why? Because you're starting to break down not only the tempo, but the weight distribution as well. All right, so when you do it in this fashion, that's a pretty simple step. But when you break it down now, you have to recenter yourself every time. So as an example, if I did one slip here, the weight is on the back leg, I have to come back to middle and whoa, again to the front leg, and then maybe back to center. And then maybe 1 and 2, back to center. Maybe 1, 2, whoop, and then the 3 comes in. When you see this, this is more realistic. And now you have some really good, functional, and effective training sessions. So when you practice these drills, incorporate these styles of bobbing and weaving, rolling, slipping laterally into your workout session, and you're going to see your defensive tactics, your defensive strategies are going to increase exponentially, okay, just with these types of drills. Now, you want to also incorporate some offense, of course. Now, I'm just talking about head movement, but maybe you want to start throwing some punches. So, for example, pam, pam, and then you roll out, right? Pam, 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 and then you roll out on this side. Incorporate the head movement with your punches, and you'll see everything is going to start to connect and flow really well together. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this type of content. Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more just like this one if you haven't so already, and make sure to leave us a thumbs up to this video. If you have any questions or even comments, leave them in the comment section below, and I will catch you in the next training video. Take care.